Welcome to my 10th and final live broadcast of the Ableton Live course for Cloth Cap. As usual, before I begin, I need to read this disclaimer. Just one second. Okay, great. Okay, yeah. So the YouTube disclaimer for the Get Your Act Together project. If you are under 18, tell your parents you are doing this session. Feel free to ask questions and make comments, but stay safe online by just using your first name. Don't give out your contact details, and I hope you enjoy today's session. Brilliant. So, as a reminder, if you've got any questions, please leave them in the comments, and I should hopefully answer them at the end. And if not, then drop me an email. There's my address there, there's my website there. Follow Function Leads, please, and Cyclic Official on Facebook. Function is my events page that I put on across Leeds and the north of England, and then Cyclic is my producer name with my mate Reg. So yeah, get involved. But yeah, this is the final week, and today we will be looking at mixing down the track that I've been producing the last couple of weeks in Ableton, mixing it down and then mastering it, doing a kind of rough master. So a lot of people talk about mixing, not talking about DJ mixing, we're talking about track mixing in music production, where we're going to take all these different elements here and then we're going to make them sound good or make them sound better, just so that they all kind of sit nicely in the mix. This is the way that I do it, and it's kind of the way that I've worked it out for myself to do it. People might do it differently, people might disagree with the way that I do it, but this is just the way that I do it, and this is the way that I've taught myself. And after watching some various videos, people showing me stuff that I've picked up on over the years, this is how I do it. So this isn't the right way to do it. Like with a lot of things in music production, there are many ways to do one thing. But yeah, this is just the way that I do it. So there you go. So yeah, what we're going to be doing, we're going to take every single sound and using some effects. So to begin with, EQ, so taking out frequencies that we don't need. Maybe putting some delay and reverb on some of the sounds. Compressing some of the sounds so we can kind of control the dynamics. And then getting all the levels sounding good, and then we'll bounce it down. So when I talk about bouncing, we are kind of converting everything into one audio track so that it can be played on an MP3 player, or it can be streamed, or you can email it to people, you can share it around, put it on a CD, whatever, put it on your phone. But yeah, it'll all be converted into one file, which will convert it into an MP3, and then we'll be done. Okay, so mixing is really important part of the whole process of making music. It's not the most exciting, it can be a little bit tedious and boring, but it's really important. And someone told me once, you should spend as much time mixing your track as you do making your track. So if you've spent, I don't know, 10-12 hours making a track, you should probably spend about the same length of time mixing it down. I prefer to produce and make tracks, and obviously I enjoy doing that a lot more. But yeah, it's a huge part of music production, is learning how to mix. And there's two ways you can go about it. I kind of do a bit of both, but some people produce a track and then they mix it down at the end. Others might mix it as they're going along. So as they're kind of producing each sound, writing each sound, they'll EQ it or put effects and things on it whilst they're kind of producing it, so they kind of know how it kind of sits in the mix. I do a bit of both, so as I'm going along I might EQ the bass and, I don't know, put some reverb on my snare drum, something like that. I've kind of left it, this example here, because I've been time limited, I've just kind of left it all to the end. Now the project I've loaded up here is the same one as we were using last week, except for one main difference is I have now exported all of the drums into audio. And I advise mixing, when it comes to mixing, is to convert all of your MIDI instruments and sounds into audio, just so you can do You can EQ them better, it will sound better, you can edit them better, and yeah, you can make a few kind of little tweaks at the end, which is quite nice to do. So yeah, convert everything into audio. So the drums here, I uploaded a video earlier today, which was my weekly top tip for this week. I thought I'd do it before the broadcast just so it makes sense. And I'll show you how to convert the MIDI drums, which are here, yeah, and convert them into audio channels here, so that now that everything is turned into audio, as you can see here. These are kind of your audio waveforms. So yeah, that's what I'm doing now. So yeah, if you're wondering why it looks like this, rewatch the top tip video around converting MIDI drums into audio, and then it will make more sense. So yeah, we're good to go, I think. So cool. So what we're going to do, I'm going to kind of go through, I'm going to mix down the drums first, then the bass, then probably the synths sounds here, then the effects. So let's move these down in order, and then finally the vocal. Okay, so to begin with, the kick drum. Okay, so I'm going to put an EQ8 on every single channel, because I'm going to EQ everything basically. So just drag and drop an EQ8 onto the first. As I go along, I might duplicate, for example, the snare drum might be a similar sort of setting that I use on there. So yeah, let's begin with the drums, kick drum. So I'm just going to solo the drums. So I have a kick drum here, and we can see it there. And you can see here immediately on, oh no, one second, let me just move that over. You won't be able to see that there. Let's minimize that. There you go, you should be able to see that now. So the EQ8 here, if you maximize that, maybe gone, come on. And I'm just going to put a loop. So if you just do Command and L, it will set a loop, just so it kind of keeps going round and it doesn't stop. So immediately you can see here the waveform, and you can see that's quite loud. That's quite getting quite beefy at the top there. So I'm going to put a high pass filter there. So I'm going to take out some of these frequencies here. So if I take it all the way up to there, you can see it goes all really thin. I want a bit of boom. So it's just basically adjusting this here until you like the sound of it. Okay, that's good there. Bearing in mind I am doing this really, really rough. Normally I spend a lot more time. Normally I have a lot more kick drums, a lot more drum parts and things on here. And we'll do the same with the snare, but we'll take a lot more of the bottom end off. So I'm putting that setting on there. And with the snare, so with the kick drum, a lot of the frequencies are kind of around here. So there's no point in having any of these frequencies here. So that's gone quite thin now. And that kind of frequency around there is quite nice for the snare, I think. It will require just us to turn it up a little bit, but we'll do that after. Okay, so I'm just going to copy. If I click on that EQ there, copy that, and then move on to the next snare. And I've just copied and pasted that same kind of setting there onto here. So now let's hear what does it sound like with the snare and the kick now. Okay, that sounds good to me. Okay, next, just going to solo the hi-hats. Let's have a look at those. And they don't come in till about there. So let's just move the loop over. And again, we don't need any bottom end. This is all high frequency sounds. So we're going to take all the bottom end off. We don't need any of that. You kind of want here where the kind of sweet spot is with your sounds, where that kind of the the kind of loudest sound that you can kind of hear within there, and it's around here. So we want to make sure that we keep that in there. So we're kind of just keeping the kick drums around here, snare drums around there, mid frequencies, and then your hi-hats around here, your high frequencies. Let's copy and paste this one underneath as well. Go to the channel under, copy, paste, Control V. Okay, that's sounding good. We don't need this frequency here. Okay, where's the wood percussion sound? So I'm just going to copy the wood percussion there, similar sort of setting to previous. We want a bit more, the mid frequencies, there it is. That sounds good there. I'm going to take some of the top end off this time as well. Let's change it here so that we can have it a bit more narrower. Sounds good to me. And the other wood percussion, wood block sound is the same underneath. So I'm just going to copy and paste that there. Let's turn it down a little bit. Okay, and then the cymbal, where did the cymbal come in? Let's find one. Here we go. Okay, so let's copy and paste that same EQ from before. Let's have a bit more top end this time, and a bit less mid. Yeah, that sounds cool. And then the tom underneath. Where does that come in? It only comes in a couple of times. Zoom in. Okay, so let's paste that there, and again, tell you what, I don't want that one there, let's start a fresh one. Let me just do a small little loop on there. Again, take the bottom end off. Where's the sweet spot? Let's turn that up a bit. Okay, so that's like a rough quick EQ on them there. And let me put a bit of delay on snares. I like to put a bit of, not delay, sorry, reverb on the snares. Let's go back up to my snare drums. I'll put one here so it hasn't got a long kind of tail, a long decay time. Let's turn that down. Go back a bit, loop that. I'm not hearing that one. Okay, that sounds nice. And let's do it on the one underneath as well. Cool, that sounds good. So yeah, that's the drums. Let's have a little listen to what they sound like together. All the drum parts. So yeah, let's do this. Let's just quickly solo them all the way down. Yeah, I'm having a few problems here with the buffering or something on here. Let's put that back to what it was on before. Okay, let's try that now. That's better. A bit better. Yeah, something to do with the broadcasting software that I'm using. It uses up a lot more CPU, so you can kind of see the meter up here going a bit mad. Okay, cool. Okay, next let's move on to our basses. So again, I'm going to grab the EQ8, put that on there, and then let's have a little listen to what the bass is doing here. Let's solo that and loop it. And again, I'm going to take all the bottom end off. Sorry, not all the bottom end off, just kind of. Because this is the kind of the rolling bass underneath. Because what you don't want your bass kind of taking over too much in the bottom end and making it sound really kind of muddy and subby. And again, with these kind of, this bass one here in particular, we don't need any top end because it's all bass, isn't it? In this area here, we want the hi-hats and higher frequencies to stick out more. Okay, let's do it. How does this sound? Sorry, I was doing the wrong one there. Okay, that's cool. Let's just take the bottom end, sorry, top end off of here. So you can kind of see here, when you analyse it, shows you where all the frequencies are, so there's no point in doing that kind of nice subby bass, I think. Okay, so we've kind of EQ'd them a little bit. I'll do some compression at the end. Okay, so next we've got our kind of synth sounds here. What have we got here? That's our kind of long synthy delayed sound. And again, we don't need any bottom end here. Take that all off. It's kind of nice around there. Let's take a little bit of the top end off as well. About there, that's nice. I'm just going to duplicate that. So copy and then paste it on the one underneath. See what this one's doing. So we need a bit more mid. That's where your sweet spot is. That should be good. And this is the layer, the kind of 16y layer. It's quite similar to the other sound, sort of setting. Cool, and then let's have a listen to the one underneath. A bit more of that mid frequency there, and a bit less high. Let's stick a bit of that EQ. Is it on here? Yeah, let's see what that sounds like in there now. That sounds nice, like that. And then, what about the one above? Put some on there as well. There you go, just so you kind of get that continuation of it. And then what we got here. Yeah, I'm not even using that, so let's put that at the bottom because we ain't using that. Just change the colour. Let's put it to black because we ain't using that. And then the kind of the filter effect type effects here. So what we got? Where are you? One. For some reason that one's down. I'm just going to copy the automation from here so we can hear when that comes in. Let's draw it in. There we go. So then down to there, fading up. So how does it go? Okay, what sort of EQ? That's like really top end frequency there. Oh, don't want to put that on. So let's just take off all the bottom end. Where are you? There you are. So you can see there, as it's kind of sweeping across, and that's where it stops there. So yeah, I've taken all that off there. Let me just see why that was kind of clipping a little bit at the end, wasn't it? It might have just been the software. Ah, there you go. What's that doing there? Yeah, you want to get rid of it. If you've got any like little pops and clicks in there, definitely get rid of those. You don't want them in the mix. Nice, I like that. And the one underneath. Okay, again, take the bottom end off. Don't want any of that. That kind of windy, wavy sound. Let's just take off right that top end frequency as well. Move you over there. Yeah, that sounds better. Okay, and then with the vocal, let's see what this is doing. We just have to loop these little bits. Solo it. Let's take the delay off for a second. Okay, take the bottom end off. You pretty much take the bottom end off everything except for your bass and your kick. And then do take a bit of top end off as well. There we go. Okay, so that's kind of everything EQ'd. Let's have a little listen to what that sounds like. Shift and Z just kind of minimises everything. Take the loop off. And yeah, these are the channels we're using here. Then we just jump forward to a section. I forgot to put the delay back on, didn't I? Yeah, there you go. That's where it should have been. Just going to turn these 10, minus 10. Let's turn it down to about minus 11, all of them. There we go. Just get a bit loud in the mix. And remember, they were automated so that it kind of fades in and out. Is that the only ones? I think. There we go. Sounds good. How loud is this one here? Just going to take the automation off of there. Right click, delete automation, because that shouldn't really be automated anyway. Let's knock that down a little bit. A bit louder. Okay, so that's fine with those. So let's start off with from the beginning. Let's kind of work our way through, and then whatever kind of comes in that's too loud, we'll just knock it down a little bit. One way of doing it is kind of turn everything down, and then you turn up one by one. So you kind of start off with your drums and your bass, and do it kind of like that. What I might actually do, I might just put a bit of compression on some of the parts here. So Yeah, let's do that. So go to your compressors, your limiter. If you go to your audio effects, they'll be here. The version of Ableton that I've got, you get the glue compressor as well. Yeah, I prefer to use that than the other compressor that comes with it. So let's put a bit of EQ, sorry, a bit of compression on the kick drum. Nothing there. Okay, so using compressors, really essential part of producing and mixing down your tracks. It just allows you to kind of take a bit more control over the dynamics of the sounds that are in there. What I tend to do, I kind of have my compressor going up to kind of about 5 here, so it doesn't go above that. And I'll show you how to do that. So with the kick, so nothing, that's not moving at the moment, it's not working at the moment, so I need to turn down the threshold, and then I'll turn the makeup up a little bit. So let's turn that down. The ratio is kind of 1:4, so that's too high, so let's turn that back to about there. I don't really want it going above the 5, I want it just under sitting under the 5, about there. That's nice. Okay, so how does that sound in the mix? Okay, let's turn that snare down a little bit. Why is that being automated? It's not even doing anything. No, let's turn that automation off. Delete that. So as you can kind of hear, the sound's coming through a little bit clearer now, which is nice. Let's turn this one down. Just checking one thing with my snare. For some reason the snare didn't come in immediately there, so let's just copy the snare so it comes in immediately. Have a look. Oops, let's delete it. I did just delete it. There we go. Let's have that coming in immediately. And duplicate that. That's not right. Wrong position. There we go. That's better. No, let's copy that. Copy, and then paste it on the bar. Okay, next I'm going to compress the bass. So let's go back over to this view. Compressor, glue compressor on the bass. There it is. Again, turn the threshold down. There you go. It's quite a good little turn the makeup up. And then let's put that compressor on the other bass as well, so when that comes in. Okay, that sounds nice. I like the sound of that. So what else would I normally put compression on? Mainly the kicks, maybe the snares as well. What I tend to do though, I would group together. So like I said previously, I normally have like, I don't know, 4 or 5 kick drums, a couple of snare drums, 3 or 4 snare drums, claps, then loads of different hi-hats, other percussion, congas, bongos, whatever, cymbals, more toms, other types of percussion like shakers and things. So I tend to kind of group those all together. So what we can do, I'm going to group each of these kind of instrument types all into kind of one little separate groups, and then we can apply a bit of compression on each of those groups, and then that should sound good. That should kind of just bring everything together. Okay, so what I'm going to do here to group, if you just kind of highlight all the channels that you want to group, do Command and G or Control and G, and it's kind of grouped it there. So now rename drums. Let's group these two basses together. Command and G. And then what is this? Bass. I'm just going to call these synths, even though there might be some piano in there. Group these together as effects. Job's good. There you go. So now we've kind of got drums, bass, synths, FX, and this will be, if I had more vocals, obviously I'd group those together, but this is just, yeah, there's just one vocal in there. So now, I like to use, there's this Bark of a Dog free download plugin that you can get. Just trying to think who the manufacturer is. I'll find out for you. Might have to do a quick Google, unless there's any information I can find about it on here. If you just Google Bark of Dog 2, this is what you get, and it just allows you to kind of boost your drums and your sounds a little bit more, just making sound a bit louder. So now let's do it with the drums. And this allows you to boost certain frequencies, so we can kind of, in the classic mode, you can kind of boost the lower frequency if you wanted to. Let's try it with a combo mode. That sounds nice there. And then I can turn, just make sure that we're not peaking. Yeah, that sounds nice there. And let's put it on the bass as well as that comes in. Obviously the bass, we want to boost the lower frequencies. That sounds better. Yeah, the combo seems to always sound a bit better, I find. Are there presets on here? Yeah. Kick drum beef boost. Master bass. Massive low end. Vocal thickener. Yeah, because your drums and your bass are the most important elements. That's what gets people moving. Okay, let's just hear what everything sounds like as it kind of comes in. That's a bit quieter now. Let's turn that. You can expand it in this view here. Okay, so with a group, let's put the glue compressor on the synths. Let's go to a section where there's a bit more going on. Let's say here. So you see that's peaking up there, that's too loud. So I think with the drums and everything, yeah, let's just turn those down a bit, turn the output down a bit. Oh, yeah. There we go. So when that other sound kind of came in there, it was just a little bit too loud, wasn't it? Okay, cool. Just a little bit of compression on there just to bring it together. Turn the bass down a bit. Those wood blocks seem a little bit loud. Tiny little bit down on the bass. Okie dokie, right, and cool. Okay, so that's saved. Yeah, I would spend a lot more time on doing this, but this is just a basic demo of some of the kind of effects. It's nice to kind of put on your different sounds that you've got in your track. Yeah, I'd spend a lot more time kind of tweaking the frequencies, making sure that everything kind of sits in nice, making sure that there's no frequencies in there that we don't want. But yeah, as a guide, this is a kind of approach that I do. So I hope that helps you. So next, what I'm going to do, I want to bounce down the whole track, and then we're going to put it into another project, and then we're going to kind of master it. So in order to master your track, so normally if you produce a track and a record label signs it, normally you'd send down a mix down with a bit of headroom at the top of the track. So what that means, it's not super loud, and it allows the professional masterer to bring up the signal a little bit more and then just tweak it, making sure that it sounds good for that label, whether it's being pressed onto vinyl or if it's being released digitally. There's different ways of mastering songs, and yeah, so you have to basically leave a little bit of headroom on your track. So ideally you don't want anything going above, I kind of say like -3, -4 dB on here. So the master here, this will indicate how loud it is. Okay, so if I just start playing the track and you'll see what happens. Let's go to the drop. So at the moment, if I just click on this, it resets it, and then it will show you here, yeah, -3. Turn it down a little bit. And I don't really want it going above like 3, 4. So that seems alright there. And this is kind of the loudest point in the song. I say the loudest, it's where everything's in the mix. That snare's getting a bit lost in there. Let's turn the snare up. Turn it down just a tiny bit more. Let's just make sure that that doesn't go over anymore. Okay, that's fine. That's good enough. Yeah, normally I'd kind of make sure it just didn't go above -4 at all. But yeah, for the purpose of this, it's all good. Okay, so to bounce it down, when I say about bouncing, I mean convert it all into one audio track. So highlight everything. Just check exactly where the song finishes. Sometimes you might have a bit of delay, or there might be like a cymbal crash that lasts a little bit longer. So you don't want to chop that off. So let's just have a look at, that's the last sound there. Where does it finish? Okay, that's good enough. So yeah, we can bounce it down to there. Cool. See the snare just a bit loud at the intro. Let's turn that down just a little bit more. Okay, so now to export your song, like I said, highlight it all, the parts that you want to export, which obviously here is the whole song. Go to export audio stroke video, and then you'll bring up this kind of dialog box here. Okay, so this is bar, rendering start bar, bar 1, which is the beginning to 114. I tend to put it on 48,000 hertz on there, and for this we want it to be a WAV, and then I'm going to put no diver this time. When I'm bouncing down multiple channels at the same time to separate audio tracks, I normally use the power -R1. That seems to be the best one. But if I was doing it into one track, then I'm just going to put it on no diver. Click export, and then it allows you to choose where you're going to bounce that down to. So if I go to my Ableton projects, and I had it under Get Your Act Together project demo, and let's just pop it in here. So we haven't even named this track. What can we name it? What I tend to do, I just kind of use a name that whatever pops into my head. Let's just call it that for now. Okay, click save, and it takes a few seconds, yeah, to kind of do this. So it's kind of analysing everything. It's putting it all into one channel. I'll just see if there's any questions. Yeah, no question. Let me know if you've got anything to ask. Okay, just waiting for this to export. Like I said, this can be the boring part. It's not very exciting. I personally like making the music. That's my passion. But yeah, you have to do this part. It's really important. Okay, come on. And then we'll get a chance to listen to everything, the whole track. There we go, sorted. Okay, so I'm just going to save that, and now I'm going to open a new project, new live set, and I'm just going to get an audio track in there. Delete those, don't need that, and then find the location of the song. Where is it? Go to my Ableton projects list, Get Your Act Together project demo. There it is. So copy, just copying it from there and then pasting it in. And there you go. There is our track. Let's expand it. So yeah, so you can see here when I talk about headroom, this space above here, yeah, this space is basically what you want, and then it allows you to basically boost this signal more, so you can kind of master it in this view. So at the moment, so I'm going to have to turn that down a bit. I'm going to put a compressor on there, chuck a compressor on, and then I'm going to put a limiter on there, and then I'm going to put the EQ 8. I might just let's see if we need to use that or not. And yeah, the limiter, that should boost it. So the compressor, like I said, that allows you just to just kind of brings everything together, makes it kind of sit nicely together. So let's have a little go with that. Again, like I said, I don't want it going above the 5 on here. So that's nice there. A little bit less. I'm gonna have to turn it down a little bit on in my headphones. It's gonna get loud now. Okay, cool. And then with a limiter. So the limiter, it's a bit like a compressor. Actually, what I'm going to do with a limiter, I'm not going to put it on there. I'm going to put it on the master. So, and it just, yeah, with the master, putting a limiter on there, what it means at the moment is I've got it set to minus 0.3 dB. So it won't go above that. And I can then turn up the song a little bit more. and it just won't go, won't peak or won't clip or anything. Okay, with the EQ, I'm just going to take a tiny bit of the bottom end off. No one likes a muddy mix. Okay, cool. Right then. So yeah, I'm nowhere, definitely not a professional master, but this is kind of just a little way of, yeah, bringing up the signal a little bit more, putting your limiter on so it doesn't peak or clip, and then yeah, I might change that the ceiling. Let's put it up to. Let's have a. Actually, no. Let's keep it as it was. That was fine. Okay, so I'm going to export the song again, and I want to compare the two waveforms, and you'll be able to see the difference. So export, let's just call it, I'm going to call it I Want You. I don't know why. And I'm also going to create an MP3 version. So underneath it says here MP3. Obviously WAVs, I'll show you the difference. Let's call this I Want You, because that's kind of, I think that's what the vocal says. Save, and there we go. We'll do it much quicker this time because it's just one channel. And then it's going through the master, encoding the master. Wait for it to do this. Here we go. And like I said, it will create an MP3 version of it as well. Cool. Right. So now, there we go. So the difference between MP3s and WAVs. WAVs are better quality. The MP3 under here, so you see the MP3 there's 8.8 megabytes compared to 42.5 megabytes. So yeah, the MP3 is much smaller. But what I want to show you is the difference with the waveform. So if I add another channel and then paste that in, there's still a little bit of headroom on there. We could probably go a little bit louder if you wanted to. But yeah, you can see the difference there if I make them the same size. Yeah, see how much fatter that is in comparison to that. And it did sound pretty loud anyway when I was bouncing it down. So yeah, let's have a listen to our final track. Let's just mute that. there we go. That's our final track. So, so yeah, that's basically it. Those are the 10 sessions that I've delivered for Clothcat in Leeds. And to find out more about what they do, here's all the information that you need to know. Go to their Facebook page, like them. If you've got any inquiries about any future courses and about what they do, just get in contact with them. The email address is at the bottom there. So yeah, I've just got one question here from Seth asking about how to make what are you saying? His bass isn't as bassy. Okay, so one of my previous videos I showed you this about layering. So make sure that you've got a nice kind of subby bass layered underneath your normal bass, or you might want to have a couple of basses down there. But think about filling up the low end frequencies. Did I put the EQ on here? Yeah, so down here, these are the kind of, if you want more bass, you want to basically be filling up this area a little bit more. So yeah, get some sub basses on there. And then if you go to the Bark of a Dog, sounds a bit of a funny name, but Bark of Dog, which is this kind of compressor, this will boost that bottom end a little bit more. So you can kind of set it, I think around 80 Hertz is nice for your kind of bass on this end. Yeah, and that's where you'll be able to, if you can set it there, boost it, and that should basically give you a bit more bass in your tracks. But just be careful that yeah, you don't put too much bass. You don't want to muddy out your tracks when you play it on a big sound system at an event, and there's a big sub there, that might take over. So just be really, really careful. And what I tend to do, once I've mixed down my tracks, I kind of give it the so-called professional treatment. So I'll go and listen to it on the stereo in my car. I'll go and listen to it on one of my Bluetooth speakers, my studio monitors, in my headphones, through the TV. See what it sounds like, because you want it to sound good on every single kind of place that you're playing it, because people listen to music all over the place, don't they? So, so there you go. Right then, okay. I think that is everything there. So thank you ever so much for watching. Please watch all the previous videos if you haven't done already, and my weekly top tips. But thank you for tuning in.